Maybe you think Roy Lupton a good shot. Maybe shots like this make you think, that man knows what he's doing when he sees a driven boar. Well, no. Here is how Roy relearns to shoot. And it is all thanks to the experts at Swedish optical sight company Aimpoint. First of all, they put Roy in front of a screen, a marksman training system. This is Erik, head of training at Aimpoint, star of the Aimpoint training videos and instigator of the Aimpoint Training Academy. He has invited Roy to Sweden for re-education. Erik asks the marksman computer program to track Roy's acquisition of a static target. Oh dear, does Roy really shoot like that? What a mess. Erik has a different method of target acquisition. First, Roy learns to start underneath the target instead of coming down on top of it.
You know, although I've been shooting since I was a small boy, you know, that you can always learn, you can always change, and you can always adapt. You know, who knows? I mean, we'll go through the process, we'll see how it works, and then, you know, I'm sure that I'll adopt some of the methods and use them. But again, until we've gone through the process, you know, it's going to be very difficult to say.
By the time Erik gets onto moving game, Roy begins to understand that there's a lot more to it. There are focus points, there is breathing, there are points of engagement, and there are points of aim. But basically Erik teaches you to pick up the target from below, lift the rifle into the target, move through it. So what is the Aimpoint rifle sight? Let's go back to 1974 and a Swedish bathroom. An inventor was shaving. The light was reflected in the mirror behind him and he was looking at that reflection in the mirror in front of him. A double reflection. That's the principle behind the Aimpoint sight. It took more than 20 years for the company really to get off the ground. Then this photograph of US General Norman Schwarzkopf's bodyguards carrying Aimpoint sights came out. Today, the US military has more than 1 million Aimpoint sights in service, and it has become the standard for driven hunting in Europe. The following morning, it's off to the rifle range. Roy gets more instruction. You can see the results best from the shot cam footage. There is almost as great a variety of targets here on this range near Malmö as there are computer simulated targets on the marksman system.
I think a lot of the British guys that do shotgun shoot will be able to adapt to this system very easily, because you are following through, you're moving through, and it's very much like the bum belly big bang way of shooting. So you're pulling through, you're coming through the target, and then as you come through the focus point that you're looking at to be your shot point, then you're squeezing the trigger. So again, it is very similar to clay shooting. With the Aimpoint dot, then again you're shooting with both eyes open, you're looking down, you're looking through, you've got a perfect target acquisition as you're coming through. You've got your focus point, as the aim point hits that focus point, you're squeezing your trigger, and it's very simple. So yeah, I've really been impressed so far with what we've learned and the system that we're using.
Okay.
So the method we have learned, I think he picked it up really good, and he proved it now with the last section that we did, when we went from 10 meters or 20 meters up to 75 meters, and you keep your focus point at the same place and just take the red dot to your focus point. And that's extremely hard to do if you are a point shooter and when you always have a static lead on the target. So I think he did really well, but right now we will end up with a real hunting scenario again, and we will see what happens there, if we go back to his old shooting style or if he have adapted the new shooting style. If we have adapted here on the range, when we do as close as possible as we can do to a real hunting scenario, if we use it here, he will definitely use it also in the forest.
The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is 50 metres away, so let's have a look at how Roy does. Roy is using the popular Micro H2 Aimpoint sight. It's not just accurate, it's robust too. We are zeroing the sight, which you do just like a normal scope, and Erik suddenly appears to go mad. He takes the sight off the rifle and throws it to the other end of the range. Then he throws it back again.
Just experienced something quite horrifying. We had an absolute nutter of a Viking decide to start throwing his kit about the place, and he promises me now that it is going to be absolutely smack on zero. So we'll give it a go and see. So you're 100% sure that's going to be exactly where we are, or where we should be?
110% sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's amazed me, and that is absolutely spot on. So it's a good job I didn't take a bet on that one.
No, we haven't finished. Aimpoint is an ambitious company, and Erik reckons it has a great future on shotguns. We're off to a beautiful clay ground in the hills of western Sweden, run by an Englishman.
From, I think it was 1990, a team of West London instructors have been coming to Susegården in May and September to train the Swedes and the Danes how to shoot game birds in a better way, more effective way. So yeah, there is a very, very strong link between Susegården and the UK.
Good. That's so weird looking at that dot. The idea of today is to try shooting with the Aimpoint sight on top of the shotgun. Again, I'm looking at it with a very critical eye to start with, but yeah, we'll hopefully give it an honest appraisal as we go.
Well, you actually got the very front.
Again, the shot cam helps you see how Roy takes some of the shots.
For a good shooter that really shoot good with a shotgun from the beginning, that have been shooting with shotgun for a long time, he will not improve his shooting to add on Aimpoint sight. But I think for the guys that have taken the decision that I should shoot lots of ground targets, rabbit for example, then it will be a really, really good tool. But I think also the most skilled shooter will improve his shooting on rabbit, for example.
From a start-off perspective, for a student to come along and to put an Aimpoint sight on their shotgun, to be able to understand lead, to see lead physically in front of them, so you can see the red dot, you can see the target, you come through the target, and then understand where your shot string is going, I think it's a very valuable tool. So I can definitely see people adapting and using it alongside, you know, conventional training. And again, I think this is what we need to understand. You know, when people first started shooting with telescopic sights, people frowned upon it, and it wasn't the done thing. But then time has gone on, everybody's adapted to it, and I think that's something that we're probably going to see with the Aimpoint sight system. Is it is there. It is an alien idea to start off with, but at the end of the day, if you can use it, adapt to use it, and allow it to help ensure that you create a better kill shot, it allows you to score better down at the shooting grounds. Why not use it? I came out with an open mind, but I didn't think that I would learn to love the sight that much. But definitely, I'm going to be asking the guys if I can take one home and put it in my kit bag.
For more about Aimpoint, go to aimpoint.com.